DJ, you're muted. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESL ESEA Pro League. My name is Blue. Joining me is Moses, and as our producer tried to tell me to go with the muted mic, we're getting ready to get started with our final match of the evening, which is going to be between Cloud9 and Team Coast. Moses, what do we think of this matchup?
I think DJ needs to get fired.
He's too busy dancing, not worried about the actual
no
production.
Clue what's going on. Oh man, well, I mean, this is interesting because I still think Cloud9 is going to win this by a pretty wide margin, but this is a map they have struggled on in the past. This is one of those maps they've admitted in interviews they need to kind of figure out, they need to learn, but they've never really put the time into it. Last night we saw them jump out to a pretty quick lead, or a pretty big lead onto Follow Esports, but there was a comeback and they ended up losing it overtime. I think they were up like 14-8 at one point, and then it was like 15-10, and then Follow Esports just went on a tear. So either way, still, I don't think Coast is even at the level of Follow Esports. This is going to be a tough match for them. They just brought in Skrunk as a coach, and I think he's actually playing tonight as their 5th member. He's playing from Germany, I believe it is. So he's got 160 ping right now. So right off the bat, I mean, that's just
Winter
player.
Fox boys.
Yeah, he's doing the Winter Fox strategy, so that's going to be tough for Team Coast.
Actually, looking at the stats sheet, though, and generally speaking, for what you'd expect from this team, just looking at their Mirage matches, it's actually fairly close on a lot of these games versus teams. Just looking at it specifically here versus Luminosity, they actually managed, and this was pretty recent too. I think this was just a couple days ago. They managed to put 10 rounds up versus Luminosity on this map too. And if I remember correctly, Mirage has actually been somewhat a semi-decent map for Luminosity too. But with them being on the downswing, that could attest to that too. But overall, not bad for them. And they've had a couple other games against some sort of mid to high tier North American games that have also been that close. So considering that Cloud9 did get upset last night, I would say that there is although of course it's a very small chance, there is that small chance that we may just see Coast running away with it.
Yeah, it's the same small chance that I thought was a small chance of Follow Esports winning, so it's definitely a possibility, especially on Mirage, where, like I said, Cloud9 has struggled on. And right off the bat, they're in a little bit of a hole, no chance of winning this one unless they miss the knife, which they almost do, but either way, it's going to be Cloud9 starting on the terrorist side, and it actually, I mean, this was their best side last night on this map, was the terrorist side. They were just bullies, so this might actually go in their favor if they're just able to explode and go out a huge lead.
And we're going to go into it here in just a couple seconds, guys, waiting for the side twist to come out and waiting for the ready apps to come out here as well, and then that is going to close it out, and we'll get started right away here with it. So we'll go into it here. Let's get to it, folks. Once again, for those that may just be joining us, this is the continuation of tonight's matches in the ESL ESEA Pro League. Team Coast versus Cloud9, best of one over here on Mirage. And let's see just how well things go now for Team Coast.
2 kids picked up on Skrunk and Drossel. And this is 4 players heading over towards the B and mid bomb site. It looks like it's going to be aggressive mid. 3 players coming through the murder hole. No one jumping out. They're just setting up a firing squad in the window. 1 player kind of baiting about an off angle, and 2 players just waiting for it. Now they jump out late. Spot 2 in the underpass, but deals some pretty good damage out of Skadoodle and Shroud, but no kills being exchanged whatsoever. So good mid control right now from Team Coast.
Decoys going into the B side itself. Dumore waiting for the push to come in there inside of the apartments, if that should transpire. But for the time being here, not going to go for it. However, now creeping over towards that position, and no, it actually gets called off there too, because that could be a fairly obvious rotation. So they won't go for it. They're going to fall back over here towards T-spawn. Apologies, and nothing here too is all this time just been kind of hanging out inside a palace. So from what he can see, he can't spot too much yet, but regardless, wherever they go, Team Coast is kind of going to be ready for it, as they once more have already rotated pretty much the full force of their players here too, still kind of screwing around in the middle, but they're pretty close on rotation-wise and might be able to get themselves into the site quickly once we see Cloud9 start this take. And they're going to work their way in here now. No opening kills coming yet as these guys are trading whiffs and blows all back to each other. Still no kills, but everybody on Cloud9 actually getting hit pretty heavily. Coast is going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, and Skadoodle will be the final player left alive. They wipe it out just like that, and it's going to be Team Coast that comes out on top here with the pistol round. They're going to be running away with it, and with that said, of course, they're going to get their start off here, and Cloud9 not going to be on the board just yet. And it looks like Moses has dropped from my end, so it's going to be me solo casting for a little bit here, guys, until he gets himself back in. I'll have our I'm not sure if that was, well, hold on. Alright, well, as soon as we get him back in, I'll have our producer notify me, but for the time being, it's just going to be myself doing it, as I think Moses is having some problems there, and he's going to have to get himself back onto the mumble. But anyway, taking a look at the push coming out here from Cloud9. See, again, they'll line themselves up here for a pretty much default all-in over here onto the A site, trying to get their way in there now. Drawsoul is going to be sitting back here, watching over for the approach to come out from the, coming over from the T-ramp, apologies, and just waiting for this one to occur, but for the time being, Cloud9, of course, not really having a whole lot of initiation power in this. They're just going to be sitting back and they're going to be waiting, and actually getting a pretty large...
They stopped DDoSing because
Terrorists win.
Hello? Am I? I might be, but we'll have to, we'll see. Alright, so I think I'm back now. Been having some trouble here, but we'll see if it continues or if I stay, but I did block out for a minute there, essentially. For Cloud9, though, as we kind of go back into things, of course, they do get the trade back in that round, and they're going to find a way to get themselves back into this match here, too. We take a look at their overall push now as they work their way through mid-control, and Stanislaw, once again, he's actually going to be able to hold this off pretty well. It takes out Sean Garris, but that gets traded out by Freakazoid. So I'm finding another one, too, but overall just even trades by this way, and now we take a look at Invert here, too. Actually going to move up pretty close to the players from Cloud9. It might just go right for it. They're not expecting him to run his way through, so he gets a great angle against them. Finds two there, almost takes down the third, but it's left to Shroud, but he, too, from Drawsoul, overlooking at him. He's going to be in a great position to counter out that one, and he will be able to eliminate him. So we'll still look at the players here from Team Coast coming out on top. They get the trade back, and they'll maintain that lead for the time being. And looking over at it now, as we take a look at just how exactly we'll see the players from Cloud9 trying to play this one out. And I might end up losing myself here in a minute, just as a bit of an advance warning, because I'm starting to drop again. But just, can I get a producer confirmation that I'm still here? Alright guys, we're gonna try this again, and if I get dropped one more time, then we're probably just gonna have our backup caster take this over. So as we take a look at things, and getting back into this, of course, 2-4 at this point, Cloud9 is gonna actually get dropped. So we're looking at another response round coming out from Team Coast more than likely. Skadoodle's left into a clutch scenario here, bringing himself into a 1-on-4 here at this point, but not a whole lot he can do. Even getting smoked off from within inside connector as well. So he's just gonna sit back, and we can see Skadoodle too slowly trying to creep his way in there, but overall, not too much else he can work with, and Team Coast kind of just screwing around at this point here too, just trying to figure out where exactly he's going to be.
He's really just trying to figure out a way if he can save this gun at this point, but with that smoke going away, he has very little cover, and so if the player decides to come out from Catwalk, he's going to get cut off, but right now he does pick up the one into Palace, and then, like I said, the player from Catwalk peeks out and does pick him up, so he had two players to deal with, one on jungle and one over there in Sandwich, but with that bomb down and sitting in connector, nowhere he could really go. And blue is out again. So I'm here. Alright, so with that, Team Coast picks up that round, so Cloud9 now only up by 1 round, but they do have the full economy. They've got 4 AKs and the op on the back of Skadoodle. Obviously, they're setting up here outside the A bomb site, going to get those set smokes out and ready to go as they prepare, setting up, and imagine we're just going to see that quick take. That's all they're going to do, getting out these smokes. They're not even prepping for a fake. So they'll be heading that direction. As Team Coast is all the way over here, they got 3 players at the A bomb site and 2 at the B, and right now the B players are going to have to make the quick rotate and try to help out these 3 A players. But now they're coming in. Nothing picks up one early. Scrunk gets the return onto Sean, and now he's left in the bomb site by himself. He's got one Tetris to deal with the player jumping down from Palace, gets taken out. Shroud picks up Scrunk. And so now Cloud9 is in this bomb site. They've smoked off CT spawn, so now they have full control of the site. And actually, every single one of the CTs are heading that direction and rotate around. So they're going to want to have to try to split up, but I don't think they have faith that they can get into window right now. So they're all going to come from this direction. And Cloud9, with the smokes that they have put down, they have a lot of time here to deal with. The flashes are going to come in, and from Invert, as well as the remaining 10 members of Team Coast. Nothing's going to sit here. On the back of Try, he does get taken out, but Skadoodle returns very quickly. He gets his missed that shot, and now it's just down to Shroud versus Invert. 1v1 Shroud here at the connector. He's got a great spot on the bomb. That flash is going to come in, but it's not going to get him. He's going to be able to get the frag, and that's it. So they pick up the round. So Cloud9, after dropping the previous one, picks it up, turns around with their buy, but did take a lot of damage there. Shroud was going to try to go in and find that op, but unable to do so. So the economic damage was done to Cloud9, even though they pick up their win, but with the bomb plant and the round win, they're going to have plenty of money to buy up here again. But if Coast was able to, no, they're going to be on the eco as well. So Sean this time around, though, with the money that he had, he's going to buy that Mac 10. And, you know, if he gets a couple kills, puts a little bit more money in their bank. Again, setting up outside of A. Actually, just this time, I'm going to walk out pretty dry. They're going to get one smoke out in the molly, and Skadoodle's going to be there with the op, and he does get the frag onto Drossel. And so now they're going to come in here. Scrunk is underneath Palace, underneath the balcony. He's going to take some damage. Freezoid picks him up. And now they're coming in. The rotation's already happened. There's 3 players coming over from connector and the window area. Nothing does pick up one of them, so now they've just got the 2 players left, one at jungle, one at CT spawn to deal with. That's Invert. He's taking a lot of damage. Freezoid picks him up, and now Dumore's all by himself in CT spawn. He's got the smoke that's about to dissipate. Shroud's going to see him and then pick up the frag. And with that said, so now Cloud9 picks up the round. So 6-3 here. Cloud9 have a very solid terrorist half. And Coast just trying to figure out what they can do to try to stop this A-take that has been happening from Cloud9 in the last 2 rounds. But this time they're actually going to split it up. So they're going to do, again, an A-take, but this time putting the presence in mid. That is Shroud and Freakazoid going that direction, with the reigning members of Cloud9 are coming up to here towards Ramp and Palace. They're going to work on this split. Scrunk is here in connectors. He's by himself. He's going to flash out. He's actually going to get the flash onto Freakazoid, but can't pick up the frag. And then Invert goes ahead and picks up one, and Stanislaw one as well onto Freakazoid. So now Team Coast actually has the advantage, but all 3 remaining members of Cloud9 are here at the A bomb site, 2 coming out through A ramp on a Tetris, and nothing still sitting up in Palace. They're going to try to get in and get this bomb plant. Drossel is there with the call, and the rotation's happening now as Invert is sitting there in jungle, and Stanislaw is rotating over quickly from CT spawn. Drossel picks up one from Ticket Booth, but he gets taken out through the smoke by Sean Gares. Invert on the return on a Skadoodle, and now it's just down to Sean Gares all by himself, who's sitting in that bomb site. He's right on top of the bomb, and then Stanislaw takes it up. And he's going to get the defuse as well. So Team Coast returns, gets the round win after being able to buy there off the eco. So trying to work their ways back into it. They really got to take control here, try to pick up as many of the remaining rounds as they can. 6 rounds on the T side for Cloud9, already very solid. And with how they've been playing, you have to imagine they'll be able to pick up some more, although they're going to be on a force buy here. Shroud did pick up money, his armor, nades, and yes, there goes. Going to buy up the AKs and everything. Sorry, not a force buy, but it was just a really long time for them to figure out what they were doing. Late buy by them, they pick it up. So now they've got Op on the back of Skadoodle. Again, invert here at Ticket Booth, and see he's got Skadoodle's dropped Op on his back. We'll see if anything comes of that, but right now the bomb is on the back of Sean Garrison. Is over towards T-spawn, and actually they're going to rotate it back towards B, where Dumore and Stanislaw are waiting for them. And so right now the bomb finally gets dropped all the way back over towards B. Sean Garrison is going to work his way back through T-spawn, and so they're going to, I imagine, at some point try to work a fake, as the bomb is still sitting there in those B apartments on the back of Shroud now. Right now, again, here comes a fake. So Sean Garrett, he's going to put out some presence here at the A bomb site, and he is going to get the rotate around. So that is actually Dumore who's going to rotate all the way around. So now it's all left to Stanislaw. He's by himself. He's going to make the call now and say, hey, they're coming to B. Please come help. He's sitting up in a good spot, though. He's just going to wait for one player to come in. He's going to get 2 frags on him. Yes, he does pick that up. The bomb is down in the site. Skadoodle and nothing are there. Up in the apartments, they're going to see what they can do as the rotation is coming. Dumore returns on the Skadoodle, and now it's just down to nothing, all by himself in the apartments. He's going to drop down to Van. That bomb is sitting there, though, in the bomb site. He does pick up one, and so now he's just got the 2 remaining players, Scrunk and Drossel, to deal with. And I think he knows that Scrunk is over there, but he is unaware that Drossel is rotating back behind him. He's going to come in and get taken out, and that's it. So nothing drops there, and Drossel getting the round win kill, and Team Coast picks up their 5th round, so slowly trying to work their way back in. I do apologize, guys. I was called in last minute. I was basically laying in bed. I should probably go grab myself a glass of water. That makes this a little bit more pleasant, and I will go do that here in just a second after this round. So the frags are coming in. Team Coast trying to defend onto this A bomb site, and Invert picks up one there on a Sean Garrison. Now it's just down to Shroud and Freakazoid against Invert, Dumore, and Stanislaw. The op is on the back of Invert here at CT spawn, and I don't think they're aware. Well, as I say that, they're not aware that Freakazoid is pushing behind, but all of a sudden he does get taken out by Stanislaw as he turned around to check that flank coming through, and so they pick up the 6th round. So they've tied it up here in the first half, and we'll see what they can do. Excuse me, this time around, they're going to go ahead. They got the decoy over towards A. The bomb, again, is outside the B apartments. They've got a little bit of presence there, just waiting to see if any of these Coast players are going to get aggressive. At this point, they probably are assuming that Cloud9 potentially is on an eco, maybe, and that's why Cloud9 is playing this super passive, and Coast is actually going to get very aggressive. They're sending 3 players up towards mid, 2 all the way up cat, 1 up mid as well. And now finally that player, that is Dumore, is going to fall back into the B bomb site, but not before Skadoodle picks up 1 in the mid. That's Stanislaw going down to him, and now they're pushing out. Freakazoid's going to be the entry here into mid. He doesn't see anyone. He actually gets 1 Drossel, excuse me, he does pick up Shroud, who's coming in through underpass. But Sean Garrett is slowly creeping in here through the A bomb site, and he's actually going to be able to get behind Drossel. He does pick up that. He's got one more player to deal with who is in CT spawn, and that's Drossel. Invert. He knows that he's there, and he's actually going to now call that, hey, come into this bomb site. And that's a great shot by Invert as they're executing. Cloud9 trying to get into the A bomb site. Dumore coming around. He gets one on nothing as well. And so now it's all of a sudden a 2v3 in favor of Coast, and Scrunt picks up one more Freakazoid, returns it, but that's it. Invert with the op shot from CT spawn takes the round, and now all of a sudden Team Coast takes the lead in the first half, 7-6. This time around, Cloud9 going to work back towards that A bomb site again, so I imagine we're going to see those set smokes come out, and they're going to try to execute this time with Tech9, so they're going to flash this over, the smokes over, and they're going to execute in. Drossel picks up one, but not before being returned by Freakazoid, and they're into this bomb site. They should be able to get the bomb plane, although the quick rotation's happening from CT spawn, as that is Stanislaw as well as Invert coming around, and all of a sudden these frags are raining in, but the bomb did get planted, so that's good for Cloud9. Strong Gage is here working against two players, one at stairs and one at connector. He gets dropped, and now it's just down to Shroud all by himself to defend that bomb. He picks up one. He's got another one, but that's not enough as Stanislaw shoots him in the back, and now they're going to get the defuse. Team Coast, 8-6. I'm going to go get a glass of water, guys, real quick. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back, and a lot of frags happening very quickly early in that round, and now Invert here, he's on a 1v2 against Cloud9. Skadoodle's got the op pinpointed on the connector, and he does get the frag, so that's it. They pick it up, and now it's a 8-7 half as we head into the second half. Again 8-7, so Team Coast was looking a little shaky there, but they won a lot of rounds in a row late in the first half to pick it up, and now they're leading, but again, it's going to be a very tough time for them on the T side. So we'll see here what Team Coast decides to do on the pistol round. They're heading towards the A side of the map, and they're going to set up, and let's see what they have for equipment. They got a couple flashes and a couple smokes, so I imagine we'll see those thrown out, and they execute onto that site. They're going to have to deal with nothing in Shroud over there, and then the rotator will be Skadoodle. He's going to be playing that mid section. He's going to come over to jungle very quick. The smokes and flashes are going to come out. Team Coast is going to execute. Skadoodle picking up one very quickly. Shroud as well, and so now all of a sudden it's just down to 3. Never mind, nothing picking up 3 quick frags there to end the half. Are you crazy? I'm confused as to what my producer just told me, but thank you. All right. So this time around, Coast again, they're going to stack up outside that A bomb site. They're going to throw the smokes in. They're going to get the smoke wall, and they try to execute one more time. They're going to have the same players to deal with here. Skadoodle, though, this time does have the scout in the back of the bomb site. He's going to shoot through that smoke. The nade he rained down onto Stanislaw, picks up one, And so now they're coming in. Drossel gets Shroud, and they're in there. They got the bomb plant, so but the rotation is already happening. Skrunk has got himself in a window. He's coming through jungle. Nothing's not going to know he's there, I don't believe, although he's putting a lot of attention there. He sprays a little bit through the smoke, but he doesn't get the frag. Nothing is really low, so Skrunk gets out. He's going to be able to get him, but instead the backup comes, and now they're going to pick it up. They do get the defuse, as there was players remaining, but that's it. Cloud9 picks up the round, and so now it's 9-8. They pick up the first two, and we'll see an upgrade from Freakazoid and Shroud. I lied, they didn't upgrade. There's about some more SMGs. Team Coast with the Tech 9s on a couple of their players, P250s, so they're going up against this A stack again. The scout from Skadoodle picks up a little bit of damage. They're coming in. Shroud with that SMG is going to pick up 2 frags, and now the backup's coming in, but Drossel and Invert pick a couple of their own up, and now all of a sudden Skadoodle was there by himself, but he does get the frag onto Invert. The bomb gets down, so that's more money in their bank. Freakazoid coming through with the P90. Was, I thought, going to get the frag, but instead Skadoodle with a pistol as he was getting pushed on by Drossel gets the frag, and the bomb defuse coming in. So now 10-8 is going to be the score heading in after the pistol round. Cloud9 picking up the first 3. Team Coast going A bomb site every single pistol round and not having any success there, so we'll see what they do. Skadoodle going to keep that scout until he dies, I imagine, or someone else can buy him an op, and he'll trade it off potentially for someone to do that jump scouting into B. But for now, he'll play with that scout. He's going to head towards window. He's going to do the peek into that direction, see if he finds anyone. There is a couple players out towards mid on the B side. That bomb is dropped outside B apartment, so you have to imagine at some point they're going to work that direction. A decoy going down towards A ramp, so again, probably a bit of a fake, especially with Stanislaw there in Palace. I imagine at some point he's going to put some pressure just to try to throw them off. But Invert, he's rotating around. He's going to pick up that bomb, and so now it is on the B side of the map with the other members of his team. That is Drossel as well as Stanislaw. Do more working here through underpass, and actually potentially they are going to try to an A split here. As I get corrected, they're all heading that way, and the underpass coming in. Dumore's going to come out, but the shot onto Skadoodle from the op, getting that one. And so now we'll see where Team Coast tries to go. That bomb is still sitting at the top of mid, and right now I think they're just trying to regroup and figure out which direction they want to go. They've got 2 players basically stuck in underpass. They're stacked up trying to get the shot on the Skadoodle if that smoke fades, and when it does, he might be looking that direction. He was turned that way, and he's looking there. He knows that potential stack is there. He's just waiting for them to see if he creeps out too far, and Skadoodle trained on. I think this is going to happen. Nope, and actually they're going to drop down. They don't get the pick, so now they're going to work towards connector. That bomb has rotated all the way around to A ramp, and so now we have Shroud and Skadoodle on this bomb site, but they've got one more player rotating around. Shroud does pick up one through that smoke there as they're pushing on to Skadoodle through jungle. Shroud turns around and gets him as well. The bomb's going to try to go down. Shroud's going to try to get the shot through the smoke. He whiffs with a pistol. He doesn't get it, so the bomb does go down. Sean Garrett's picking up on the Skrunk, and so now it's all down to Stanislaw by himself. He's going to jump up in the box, get dropped by Sean Garrett, who had rotated through. And they're going to be able to get the fuse, and Cloud9 continues to reign supreme on their CT side. Going to pick this one up 11-8, going to be the half score.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
So far this half, Team Coast not being able to figure out anywhere to go. They just have not been able to find any sort of success in either direction. Granted, it was 3 pistol rounds and a single gun round so far, but this time, the second gun round, although a little bit of a force buy, they have a Tech 9 and Galil on the back of Invert. Skrunk the one with just the Tech 9. So obviously, him with the higher ping, playing from overseas, he is one that you can afford to sort of put that weaker gun on if you have to do a force buy. Shroud picking up one on the Jostle as he was pushing in, try to throw the fake, but right now the take is on the B bomb site, and they've gotten into there, and they're going to see if they can get the plant. Freakazoid does get dropped by Dumore, who is up in the apartments, and so now it's a 2v3, Dumore and Invert. They're going to try to hold on to this bomb site by themselves. They got one player over at Van, that was Invert, who does take a lot of damage as Cloud9 is rotating around. So Shroud, Scoodoodle, nothing, trying to come in. Scoodoodle gets the nade kill onto Invert, and now all of a sudden it's just down to Dumore. He's not going to be able to get to this bomb. There's too many players to deal with. He does get the flash out, and if he goes through the diffuser, he has a chance, but he needs to get over there and get it now. He does get the shot, and so now it's just down to nothing, who's there trying to face Dumore with just his pistol. He's got the AK, and Dumore doing a really good job positioning himself, being very careful, and he's going to pick it up, so nothing drops to Dumore. Dumore doing a really solid job in the apartments there to pick up the round, and so all of a sudden they get their first win of the second half. 9-11 in favor of Cloud9 though, so still a long way for Team Coast to go, but a great hold there by Dumore. Team Ghost this time around, they're putting a big presence here in mid again. The bomb is that direction. It looks like they're going to try to do that same sort of A take that they did earlier, in which they send the one player through Palace and then the other players up through mid. They're pushing a big presence there. They're going to have Scoodoodle to deal with. He is smoked off though, so he's falling back, and he's going to play that same angle we saw him earlier to see if anyone boosts up there once that smoke's fade. Just try to get the frag, but another smoke is going to come in, and now they're going to work up Catwalk. So they're going to run into the likes of Freakazoid as well as Sean Garros, who are holding on to that B bomb site. Freakazoid's here. He's going to face three of them very quickly. They're going to push through this smoke. And he's actually going to do the pop flash himself. The flash is going to go. He's going to turn around. And the pop flash was perfect. And he just gets blind sprayed by Jostle. Sean does get Invert, who is coming in through Catwalk. But now the take is on. Dumore, having his second big round in a row, picks up 2 frags. And now all of a sudden it's just down to nothing. And Shroud does pick up one from the kitchen. He's rotating through. He's going to see if he can pick up another. But no, Skrunk gets him. And so now it's all down to nothing. He's rotating through the B apartments. He sees the head pop up. That is Drossel. He's got him to deal with, as well as Skrunk, who's over in the kitchen, and one more player on Catwalk. And Drossel does get the frag coming up from Van and getting nothing as he dropped down into the bomb site. So one more round for Team Coast, 11-10, Cloud9. Right here, Team Coast, this early round. Right now, Cloud9 going to be a little bit aggressive with a pistol up into Palace. That was Shroud getting dropped, Skrunk getting the frag onto him. They do had a bit of a stack here on the A-bomb set. They got 2 more players to deal with, and they actually pick up 2 frags into Palace, and so now they're going to get 1 gun out. They actually might be able to pick up another one, although no, the take is in too quickly. Stanislaw coming in, Drossel as well, both of them picking up frags. Freakazoid here with a pistol. He does get 2, actually, so all of a sudden this is turned on its head. Drossel is the last one alive. He's got 2 pistol players to deal with in Cloud9. Sean Garris picks up the headshot on him, and what a round by Cloud9 with the pistols on the A-take from Team Coast, just headshot after headshot, and they win the round. That was just, I mean, that was just great pistol play by Cloud9. I'm not really sure how Team Coast allowed that to happen. They get the 2 players dropped at Palace, and at that point, it really fell apart for him. And again, here they are going to stack up towards the A ramp, so Team Coast going to flash out. They've got all of them coming out on the eco this time around, and the spray down's just going to happen from Shroud. He gets the 4K, the 5K. Are you kidding me? The spray from long distance, getting 4 of them, and then pulling out the pistol and picking up 1 more. Shroud with the ace. That was a quick round. Cloud9 picking up their 13th, and now they're just 3 rounds away from ending this, trying not to allow Team Coast to come back into it. Team Coast clearly trying to figure out what the answer is here. They had a couple good rounds in a row, but now they've been shut down by Cloud9, once on a pistol round and then on the spray down from Shroud on their eco. But this time, they're going to catch nothing, who's being a little bit aggressive there into connector. It was Invert who picks up that one. And so now, It's a 5v4 in favor of Team Coast. They're going to work that bomb back towards the A site now, so they get the frag onto connector. They're going to rotate the bomb all the way through T-spawn, slowly walking it up and hoping not to give away their position. Skadoodle is stacked up there. He is in Palace. He's actually got his op trained in that direction, and he's got his teammate that is Shroud backing up in the A site. So as soon as he knows that the take is coming in, but he's got the one player to deal with here in Palace. Is he going to get the shot? Yes, he does. So Ska picks up that one, and now he's got 3 more players from A ramp to deal with, and he's got his teammate again, Shroud, there to back him up. The spray comes down from Shroud. He picks up one. Ska picks up the quick shot over the box. He gets one. He's got 2 more players to deal with. The nade comes in. Now 1 more. Can he get the 4K? Oh, he misses that, but he's got connector and ramp. He has a chance to 5 at the ace. He misses that shot again. 1 more player over at connector. He's stuck here. His team is going to come around. Sean Garris picks up the player at ramp, but Ska with the 4K picks up the player at connector. That was Dumore going down, and finally Cloud9 picks up that round. Great movement and positioning there by Ska with the op shots and pick it up 14-10 Cloud9. Team Coast, again, on another bit of an eco force buy. They got the 1 AK on the back of Dumore and then Tech-9s across everyone else. Good nades and armor, though. So they have some utility to do some damage here. They're going to stack up. They're going to throw the smokes over to the A bomb site. So again, they're going to do the smoke wall and try to get into this site onto Cloud9. Nothing drops early from Dumore, but Scott picking up the op shot onto Invert up in Palace, and now all the rest of the players are already out. There's actually one on stairs who did get dropped by Shroud, and so now it's Shroud and Ska. Ska actually gets dropped by Dumore, and all of a sudden now Ska is in this, excuse me, Shroud is in the smokes. He comes around, gets the one on Tetris. He's got 2 players in the sights to deal with. Is he going to get 1 more? No, he gets dropped. They're taken down by Drossel, rather. The nade comes in. Freakazoid gets the return, and now the bomb is going to get down, so they're going to have that, and he's going to be able to defend it. But Stanislaw, they know exactly where he's at behind those. Behind the stack there, Freakazoid and Sean Garris just going to spam onto that, not let him out, and now slowly they're going to work up and basically force him out of position until he has a chance here, actually, and there we go. Freakazoid does pick up the frag, so now the defuse is going to come in. 15 rounds, 1 round away for Cloud9.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
Team Coast this time around, going to have the AKs, so after that eco there on the last round, they're going to have the AKs. They're just doing a big push here towards the mid direction. They're actually sending one up cat. They're going to go towards connector. Basically, every single player is here in mid, and they're going to work every single one of them up towards connector, which is a bit odd, or at least put the presence there for now. See, maybe they can defrag. Sean Garris already pushed up through catwalk, going to spray down through that smoke, not really collect any damage, but at least put the little bit of pressure on him. Skadoodle does get dropped at that A site, as well as Shroud. So now all of a sudden that A site is pretty much free, except for nothing is rotated here through jungle. He's come out, he's sitting on connector, and now they're going to take the B bomb site. So Cloud9 has rotated all the way around, expecting the A take to happen because of the frags that have occurred, and the take is going to happen on the B side instead. Although Coast, they need to hurry up if they want to take this B site, because Cloud9 is going to figure it out very quickly that, hey, they decided not to come A. Where are they at? We don't have any pressure anywhere. And right now, all of these Team Coast players are working through B apartments. They have Drossel, who's there in underpass. Excuse me, he's all the way up at ladder positioning of the camera. I thought he was underpass. But finally, the one player, Cloud9, Freakazoid, is going to come up around. He's got 4 players up here in apartment to deal with. See if he can get a spray down to get his team back into this. He get a little bit of damage. He gets 1 headshot there. He's getting more. That's 2. Now he's got 1 player advantage to deal with. He doesn't pick that up, but good. He holds it off a little bit, and now it's a 2v3, which is a little bit more manageable. Nothing, and Sean Garris is going to rotate around. Sean's coming up here towards mid. He knows he has 1 player at catwalk. I think he saw him there. Drossel's going to come up. They're going to walk each other, and right now Drossel is going to get the better of him. So now it's down to nothing, all by himself with the op. He's got 1 player in sight to deal with, 1 player at catwalk, and 1 there back towards the bench. He's going to run away that op and try to save it for Skadoodle for the next round, but he's got to be careful because who is that? That is Drossel coming around through the connector and dropping him, so not able to save that op, but that should be all right based on the economy. Cloud9 with 15k on the back of Freakazoid. I imagine they're still going to buy up here because they got 2 players can buy and plenty of money on the back of him. So there it is, Freakazoid buying up, dropping the rifles for the rest of his team. Invert with the op. He's going to push out very quickly. I'm not sure if they expect an eco from the Cloud9 side, but that is not the case. With all the money on the back of Freakazoid, he's able to go ahead and buy up, like we said, for his entire team. And so now the one player that is, that is Stanislaw over there at Palace. He's just going to be able to come out here late and maybe either throw a fake or be the lurker here as they execute on the B side of the map. The bomb is just sitting here back towards mid, though. So again, maybe trying to work this A split and work out here late towards mid instead of early like they had in the past. In this round, they're not going to have Skadoodle deal with here in mid, but there is 3 players towards A. That is nothing, Skadoodle and Shroud, all at that A bomb site. And they're going to get a quick rotate from the B bomb site. That is Freakazoid. He's already pushing back towards Kitchen, and nope, he's going to sniff it out. So he'll stay there. And right now they're going to work up towards Catwalk. They're going to get the information very quickly, Cloud9 that is, that hey, they're not coming this way. They have mid control though. And now they're entering, into that B bomb site. Do more. Oh, the spray down just happened so quickly. I think that was Stanislav who was, yes, on the flank there at the A site. So like I said, he was going to lurk there back towards apartments the entire time. Picks up those 2 as they were entering into the B bomb site on the rotation. So he picks that up, and Team Coast now trying to work back into it. 15-12. Cloud9 just trying to get the one more round. They're going to be on an eco here. And the aggression from nothing into Palace again is met by the op of Invert. So the early frag on the eco round from Cloud9. Again, nothing getting taken out. And now they're going to push aggressively here through the B apartments as well. So they've got Shroud and Sean Garris pushing all the way through the B apartments, but the take is on to A. There's going to be the 2 players, that is Skadoodle and Freakazoid at the A bomb site. They're going to spray down through the smoke. They're completely smoked off. Freakazoid gets the 1 frag. Gets not the 1 frag, gets dropped himself, gets killed himself from CT spawn. Skadoodle does get the 1 through the smoke there, and now Shroud gets one of his own. And so now all of a sudden it's a 3v3, but the favor is for Coast, although Shroud another one as he entering in, and so now all of a sudden Sean Garris as well, and is Skrunk all by himself here back in Firebox. He picks up 1. Can he pick up 2? He does. He picks up a second one. Is he going to be able to clutch this? Can he get the 3K to clutch this? He's in Firebox. They know exactly where he's at. That's Scott. He's facing off him, and he turns. He gets the frag. Skrunk picks up the 3K to save the round for Team Coast. And now all of a sudden Cloud9, who has had issues closing out matches repeatedly, we saw this with them against Follow Esports on this very map, having an issue closing out. They're 1 round away, and here they're struggling against Team Coast again to do it. So Cloud9 obviously full buy this time around. They've got that op on the back of Skadoodle, so that's a benefit for them. They haven't had it here in a little bit, but we'll see. They're going to get smokes and flashes here towards the A side, but again, this is just a bit of a fake as the presence from the bomb is over in those apartments. You've got Scott and Freakazoid on Catwalk who will be able to rotate both very quickly, although again, they think the take is onto A. And actually, it is going to come that direction. They drop down to underpass, and Scott picks up 1. He does get in return from Stanislaw, but now Dumore, he gets 1 of his own onto Freakazoid, and now all of a sudden nothing's here. He's got 2 players to deal with in the smoke. Stanislaw, does pick up him, gets Dumore as well, and now all of a sudden it's all down to Drossel by himself. He's in the bomb site. Nothing knows exactly where he's at. Gets 3K to end the half and the game, and that's it. Cloud9 picks it up, so they save the day. They don't let Team Coast come back into it like they did at Follow Esports. And they pick up another win on the season for them. So them positioning themselves to climb that leaderboard and stay at the top all season long. But again, that's it for us tonight. I apologize. I was in bed, got pulled out, so I apologize for my lackluster casting. Hopefully I turned it around after I got a little bit of water. But my 2 co-casters, co-conspirators that both dropped at the same time to get me pulled in here. Thank you for them who stuck around all night. We're doing a great job up until I had to jump in. So again, Jason Moses O'Toole, John Blue Mullen, and again, I am Holden of ESEA TV. Thank you everyone for tuning in for ESL ESEA Pro League. That's it for us tonight. We will be back on Tuesday for more Pro League action, so see you then.